What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for May 1st, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a feel-good Wednesday edition of the podcast. Happy Hump Day. And if you were here last week, you know you got to watch who you say that in front of. But what a morning. What a game. What a just overall effort by your team, your town, your 76ers. What a game. And I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start with a recap of the question of the day. I asked you, will the Sixers force Game 6? And I am so glad that 87% of you were wrong. And here we are tomorrow night. A late night start, but tomorrow night, Game 6 at the Wells Fargo Center as the Sixers beat the Knicks 112-106 in overtime. As always, thanks for participating in the question of the day. 267-495-8531. Get you into the Back to the Future voice and text line. And I guess where I'll start is with 30 seconds left. I have notes jotted down here on my rundown sheet of just they were careless down the stretch. Joe gave everything, but he was just he didn't have it, whether it was the headaches or what. And then was going to start talking about next year with Joe and Maxey being the only guys under contract. And then Tyrese Maxey did his best Reggie Miller impersonation up at the Garden in front of Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan, Patrick Ewing, Jon Stewart, all of them. So much so that, look it up, it was pretty hilarious. Tracy Morgan gave him the finger. And I love Tracy, don't get me wrong, but... But what a game. Again, Maxey literally pulled a Reggie Miller on the Knicks, and it just was amazing. I mean, he, first of all, getting able to hit that shot while he was fouled, like the first one, the 4-point play, was just insane. And then to pull up from like 3 steps inside half court and drill it, I can't say enough. I feel as though this is his coming out party. I feel like we have 2 bona fide superstars now on this team. It took until last night when Joe just didn't have it offensively and just was out of gas, and they needed somebody to step up. And this is a game where in the past they would have folded, would have completely given up throughout the game. I would say that. But Tyrese said, nope, hop on my back, fellas. I got you. And ultimately led them to victory. Career playoff high 46. We had a Tobias Harris sighting. Nick Batum was great down the stretch when he needed to, especially defensively on Brunson. He had the last drive that he blocked and then forced the bad pass that he threw away in overtime. I think something clicked with this team, and maybe it's me getting sucked into it again, and which is very well could be. But I think something clicked with this team where all of a sudden they had. And I looked at Nick Nurse on the sideline, and he did not have the. And if you're watching on YouTube, you know the face I'm making, the Doc Rivers. And if you're not, you know the Doc Rivers face. If you're just listening, you know the face I'm talking about. Nick Nurse was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. And he's coaching down to the last minute. He did not give up in that game. And I think the players saw that Maxey was not going to lose that game. There was no way. I knew once it went into overtime, even when they got down 5 early, there's no way they were going to lose that game. Tyrese Maxey was not going to allow it. And that's the sign of a superstar. And it's kind of what we wanted from Joe. He just didn't have it tonight, but finally we had a guy in the playoffs other than Joe step up and put the team on his back, and that's what we need from him. And I think that was his welcome to the NBA showing. Give him the max contract today and let him be ready for tomorrow. It just phenomenal. And then speaking of Joe, I'm seeing a lot of people say, oh, he's this. He didn't show up when he had to, and the same old Joe, same old this, same old that. And take a step back. And again, I think people were going to be ready to bury him had they lost this game. But the fact he's on one leg, the fact he has the Bell's palsy, In fact, he had migraines today. And I've not once heard, which in the past I have heard him say, I've not heard him make an excuse about this at all. He's just going out there and playing and doing what he can. He did not have it offensively. He was sloppy and like between a couple missed free throws and 9 turnovers, dude almost had a quadruple double, a dubious one with 9 like if he'd had 10 turnovers. But when he needed to, he hit clutch free throws in overtime. He was grabbing rebounds. He blocked the block he had on Brunson's shot, where he kind of limped a little bit and just come right back. Like I've seen a different Joe this series too. And we talked yesterday about Mick Jagger, and you can't always get what you want, but sometimes if you try, you get what you need. I feel like we got what we need now. We have 2 stars and a ton of cap space. So no matter, I'm not writing off this season by any stretch, but this team has definitely showed me something. And the fact that this would have been a 30-point blowout with Doc Rivers. And I think you got to keep in mind all of the turmoil that happened this year going back to James Harden, the injuries and all of this. And Nick Nurse trying to install his own winning culture and his own philosophy and whatever with the team. This team has showed me a lot. And the fact that win or lose tomorrow night, I know I'm usually not big on moral victories, and I'm not saying that the season was a success because they should have gone further. But all things considered, I think the future is bright. Now you have a shitload of cap space. But before we get into all of that, Game 6 tomorrow night at the Wells Fargo Center, this is going 7 games. There is no way the Sixers are going to lose that game. And that crowd better show up and show out. Do not sell your tickets. And if you're even thinking about selling your tickets, hit me up because I will gladly take them off of your hands. I don't care if I'm in the last row or I'm courtside. Don't sell those seats. I will take them. Hit me up. But great win. And again, Joe had 19. He struggled offensively, but pulled down 6 boards, had 10 assists. He did have those 9 turnovers, so I do want to see that cleaned up. But I feel as though you're going to see, like I said, something is starting to click with Joe. You've seen it a couple times in this series where he could have gotten down, he could have moped, he could have went, and he put the shitty game he had behind him for the first 4 quarters, and he was good in overtime. And I think you're going to see the Joel Embiid game on Thursday where he's like, okay, I have my Robin, so to speak. And who knows? Maybe at this point it's going to be Tyrese Maxey's team and Joe's going to be the Robin. It doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to this game tomorrow. It's going to be late. I'm going to have to take a nap or something. But great, exciting win. And this team, like I said, has definitely showed me something this series, particularly last night. The fact that they could have very easily, they played well in the first quarter. They could have packed it in the second quarter. And I've seen the Sixers pack it in the second quarter and just get run out of the building. But they battled. Tyrese Maxey was not going to let them lose this game. And that's the same mentality we need. We need that Allen Iverson, whatever it's going to take sort of mentality. And that's sort of what Tyrese, like a couple of those drives and things like that, that's what he reminded me of. He was not going to lose. It was like Allen Iverson in Game 1 against the Lakers all over last night. So great win. We got it coming down to Game 6, let's win it. And Game 7, you never know what's going to happen in a Game 7. So let's just keep rolling with it. I do feel, and we'll get more into it tomorrow, but I feel as though we're going to see a better Joel Embiid, and I think he might go for almost 50 again tomorrow. So good win, but that does lead us to today's question of the day because, as I mentioned, I was starting to write off the Sixers with 30 seconds left. I was jotting down my talking points for today, assuming they were going to lose that game. But Tyrese Maxey happened, and people were, and I was listening a little bit on the radio on my walk today. John Johnson on WIP was ready, and like people are still on Twitter, everything, still ripping Joe, the callers, everything. And I don't know if I'm ready to do that considering everything that Joe had. I think you build around Joe and Maxey. So the question of the day, last night, 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter, did Tyrese Maxey save Joel Embiid's legacy? Because obviously they lost. If they lost, it would have been fallen on Joe, right or wrong. I think wrongly would have fallen on Joe. But did Tyrese Maxey save Joel Embiid's legacy? And is it? I feel like it's set up perfect for the Joel Embiid game tomorrow night. But let me know. 267-495-8531. Get you in on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Did Tyrese Maxey save Joel Embiid's legacy? Let me know what you're thinking. But what a win. Your team, your town, your 76ers. What a game. Be sure to hit me up on social media, Jimbo_Mott, Twitter and TikTok, at Philly Jimbo on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already, Jimbo_Mott. Tell your friends, spread the word. Let's go. If you want information on the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony as well as tickets, all the information you need is in the description. I've been telling you as well, if you have a business or something that you want to advertise or donate something for the silent auction, hit me up for that as well. It does not have to be sports related. All right, a couple quick housekeeping things before we get into the episode. It is the first of the month. And to hold myself accountable, and if any of you are out there trying to do a weight loss journey or anything that you started in January, I said I'm going to give you monthly updates on where we're going. And April was a tough month just because of my schedule for work. You had Easter in there. Easter was in March, I guess. Either way, I had my mountain trip for golf and everything, so it was tough to keep things consistent. I drank way more water this month than I did. That was my goal, was to drink more. I didn't quite hit the 80 whatever I said ounces. That's a lot of water, but I was able to drink way more water than what I'm used to. So since January 1st, quarter way into my 55 pounds or 51 pounds, whatever I think it was 51 pounds that I wanted to lose by the end of the year. I am 20.4 pounds down since January 1st, and I'm very happy and pleased with that because of how tough April was to find the consistency. Like I mentioned the other day, clothes are fitting better and everything. So I think for May, what my goal is going to be more consistent with working out, as well as I feel so much better, and I've done a lot more. I feel a lot of my weight loss, the biggest weight loss came in January from dry January. But I think when I did the intermittent fasting, so I'm going to try to at least intermittent fast 5 days a week, like during the weekdays. But that's where I am. So 20.4 pounds down since January 1st. Hopefully you are doing whatever you need to do. Down about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds for the month of April. But again, let's hold each other accountable. And if you're not quite where you want to be, or you had a rough month, that's okay too. Get right back on the horse. Don't fall back into the habits. And let's do this. We got this. Let's stick together. But there's that accountability piece. And yesterday, when I was now that I'm driving into different testing sites, I'm able to listen back to the pod. Not really sure how $80,000 would be the same as $5,000 today. Not really sure what I was thinking when I said that. When we talked about the cost of the Baker Bowl, $80,000 they built it for. That would be about $2.6 million today. I looked that up multiple sites, but not the $5,000 that I said. There was not that much of a depreciation, but with inflation, it'd be $2.6 million today. All right, you probably missed this because you were so hyped up from the Sixers or you were sleeping, but the Phillies had an exciting win. They almost choked away the game again against the Angels. They had a lead in this game, blew it, and then came back in the ninth. Nick Castellanos may have figured something out. He had 3 hits as well, including, I should say, the game-tying home run in the ninth. And then Johan Rojas, baby. I told you, give him time, give him some at-bats and let him work through it. But we talked a lot about him getting jacked with the 20-inch pythons in the offseason, wearing that Believe shirt from Philly Goat. Hit a 2-run game-winning home run last night out in Anaheim for the Phillies. Yes, Johan Rojas with a 2-run game-winning home run to break the tie. They have 20 wins now on the season. They have 19 wins now in April, or had 19 wins in April, which sets the team record, besting the 2011 team that won 102 games. They're still behind the Braves, though. That's okay because it's April and they're not out of it. Like I keep saying, like the past couple of years, they've been out of the division by this point in the season. So the schedule is definitely going to get harder. The Braves have had a fairly easy schedule as well, but we'll get there. Schwarber hit a Schwarber bomb last night. Spencer Turnbull, if this is his last start for a while, pitched very, very well for like 5 1/3 innings, and then the bullpen just didn't necessarily. And I wonder if the bullpen has been struggling during this series in Anaheim because they're so well rested and haven't had much game action. I don't know, but they're at it this afternoon trying to win the series in Anaheim before they come back home. Zach Wheeler's on the mound, but let's do it. And again, Johan Rojas, I told you, just be patient with him. Be patient. And he's hitting bombs now, and all that offseason work definitely has paid off. I mentioned the Believe shirt. The Believe shirt is the theme of the day. So every day, usually when I go through and do my Philly Goat read, I'm like, all right, what are we going to do? It's either their new shirts that are coming out or something that ties in with what happened. And I mean, get your Believe shirt because it fits for the Phillies. You got Johan Rojas, who worked out this offseason wearing the Believe shirt. And now he's hitting game-winning home runs with the 20-inch Pythons. Absolutely. Go to Philly Goat, get the Believe shirt. And honestly, why not get the Iron Maxey shirt? Get 2 shirts today. The Iron Maxey shirt, which is phenomenal. If you're like a band or a concert t-shirt fan, it's a great shirt. The Iron Maxey, they have the Maxey Miss. Are You Not Entertained? Whatever you want. They have Tyrese Maxey shirts. Go get them. Get the Believe because we believe in Johan Rojas. We believe that the Sixers are going to force Game 7. We believe that Tyrese Maxey just saved Joel Embiid's legacy, and we believe that the future is bright for the Sixers. Let's go. Go to phillygoat.com. Use that promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. Get your Believe shirt. Let's go. All right. We do have a Flyers update, a little bit of a hockey fix today. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms are in action tonight versus the Hershey Bears in the Calder Cup playoffs, so good luck to them. Some Eagles news. A.J. Brown spoke yesterday, said he's planning on retiring as an Eagle. And when asked about the whole, does being the highest paid receiver mean anything, he's like, no, because I have to go out on the field and prove it. We don't play on paper. Nobody cares how many zeros are in your bank account. And he wants to go out and prove that he's deserving of that money. He said, Philly's home. This is where I want to be. My daughter started school, friends of the teammates and things like that. So hopefully now we can put all the nonsense with A.J. Brown behind us. Marcus Hayes, I'm talking to you. Can we put this behind us now and stop saying he's a cancer, he's this? No, he wants to be here. Take the man at his word. Leave it go. A.J. Brown, looking forward to what this season has to bring. And I saw this stat kind of as a post-draft recap, and I thought it was interesting, and I thought I'd bring it up. After Howie signed the Carson Wentz deal to his the new contract, and then it all went south when they drafted Jalen Hurts, and Carson just was Charmin soft and couldn't handle the pressure. Somehow he managed to make that trade with the Colts, and somehow Howie Roseman was able to trade Carson Wentz and turn it into Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, and Cooper DeJean. Howie Roseman, you are a wizard. So just let those names sink in. That's who ultimately, through other trades and this and that and the other, that's who Howie Roseman was able to get for Carson Wentz. I think the Eagles made out on that deal. But again, stop the nonsense now with A.J. Brown. He's home. Let it go. All right, today we're going to go back to 1972. And on May 1st, 1972, the Phillies beat the Dodgers 2-1 when Willie Montanez hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 8th. Phillies pitcher Dick Selma allowed Steve Garvey to score on a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the eighth, but that was the final 2-1 thanks to Willie Martinez. But why are we talking about this? Well, Dick Selma pitched a complete game 3-hitter, had 5 walks and 1 strikeout. This was the Phillies' 5th straight complete game. Woody Fryman, Steve Carlton, Barry Lersch, and Bill Champion had the others. Phillies won 4 of those 5 games, and ironically enough, the only game they lost was Steve Carlton pitched a complete game loss for the Phils. Carlton was in his first year with the Phillies. And amazingly enough, on May 1st, the Phillies were tied for first place in 1972. Granted, the season started a little bit later, so they were only 2 weeks into the season. But it all went downhill for the Phillies from there. They went 59-97. If you remember, that is the year that Steve Carlton won 27 games. 27 of the Phillies' 59 games that year, won the Cy Young. And I feel like this day was the high point. And the fact that in 5 straight complete games, which is unheard, like you would never see this today. I mean, this Phillies staff came very close with a lot of those 8 innings between, they had Ranger, Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola all go 8 innings. But 5 straight complete games, and the one they lost was Steve Carlton in a year where he won 27 games and won the Cy Young. But we all know that was sort of a turning point year. And then Mike Schmidt came up in 73, and things started to really turn around for the Phils. But on this day, back in 1972, the Phillies beat the Dodgers 2-1. Dick Selma pitched the complete game. It was the 5th straight complete game by a Phillies starter that year, or in a row, and then it was all downhill from there. Okay, it is May. And I said we are going to talk about, the segment is called It's a Family Affair, just like the song by Sly and the Family Stone. I will spare you my singing today, but it's a long month. There will be some singing. And that song is in your head. I can see the wheels turning. It's a family. Anyway, all right. And today we're going to get the wrong brother. Give you the whole gamut today. We're going to get the Philadelphia team had the wrong brother as well right out of the gate. And today's spotlight is on Frank Torre, our first baseman who played for the Phillies for 2 years in 1962 and 1963. In those 2 seasons, he played 200 games, hit .286 with a homer and 30 RBI. For his career, he did win a World Series with the Braves, but you might know him better as Joe Torre's older brother. Joe Torre was a legendary player and probably more known, and was probably a better manager. Or not probably, he was a manager. But as a player, this is often overlooked. Joe Torre was a 9-time All-Star. He was a 1971 MVP. He won the batting championship. But he is a Hall of Famer as a manager. Just don't even have to go into what he did with the Yankees, the Dodgers. He started his career with the Braves. Just phenomenal. He was a Gold Glover as a player. He hit .297, hit 252 home runs, and had over 1,100 RBI. So obviously, the Phillies had the wrong brother in this situation. So that is today's It's a Family Affair spotlight. Frank Torre, first baseman for the Phillies, played 2 years, but we wish we would have had Joe Torre, either as a manager or as a player, would have been better than good old Frank. Nothing against Frank. God rest his soul. Don't want to talk bad about the guy, but man, the Philadelphia Phillies had the wrong brother, the wrong Torre brother. And there's many, many situations where, and usually it's the Phillies, they had the wrong brother. But we'll get more into that this month. But the segment is called It's a Family Affair. And today we spotlight Frank Torre, first baseman for the Phillies for 2 years. Wish we had Joe. All right, on this day in 1972, the Phillies beat the Dodgers 2-1. Dick Selma pitched a complete game. It was the 5th straight complete game by a Phillies starter. And then it was all downhill from there. Leave A.J. Brown alone. Let's end the nonsense. Let's go. But remaining positive today, Phillies looking to get that series win versus the Angels today. Go to Philly Goat, get your Believe shirt, get your Maxey shirt. Use that promo code Jim Montgomery. You gotta believe. Like Tug McGraw said, you gotta believe. And if you believe, good things happen. Just ask Johan Rojas. Great win for the Sixers. Time to show up and show out. Remember, if you're going to sell your tickets, hit me up because it's bullshit. I don't want Knicks fans taking over. Let's go. Show up, show out. Whatever T-shirts are given out, put the T-shirts on. Let's go. Let's send this series back to New York Saturday for Game 7. Let's go. Be sure to answer the question of the day. Did Tyrese Maxey save Joel Embiid's legacy last night? 267-495-8531. Get you into the Back to the Future voice and text line. Let's do it. Celebrate. Be tired, but that's okay because it's well worth it. And the Phillies play early today. They're on at 4, so you actually be able to watch some Phillies today. And that's good because you got to be in bed early tonight because we have a late Sixers game, and we're going to need all the support, all that energy for the entire game. So go to bed early, take a nap, whatever you got to do. Be ready for Game 6 tomorrow at the Wells Fargo Center. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Wednesday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.